As a new manager, what do you do when you hear, we've always done it this way? So as a new manager, you want to go in there and make a difference. I get that. You want to make a good impression and do right by your team. But many times, one, two, three, maybe all the team is saying, we've always done it this way. This is the way we've done it all the time. Now, what do you do as a new manager? What you don't want to do is one, dismiss the conversation by saying no, or saying we're not going to do that anyway, or some type of immediate response that's really directed towards the individual. The second thing is you want to ask questions. If they are saying that, ask probing questions, because you may not know the underlying truth behind that. We know, you know, that those are some cultural norms that are happening. Like, we've always done it this way. And you've got to probe those things by asking questions. One, you're going to show that you want to listen, you want to understand. And the second thing is that you don't want to make any judgment calls right there and then to determine whether that's right or wrong. So here's what I suggest you do is listen, show me, absolutely make notes, make sure you're making notes and doing all that, and begin the conversation. But you also want to ask questions. So how do you, I've seen it, I've heard it. So the question I have is, how do we make this better? How do we improve this process? And this is part of the stage, what I call current state. Asking questions, understanding that, but also asking probing questions around, well, I see that this is the current state, I get that, but we've got these objectives and we're behind schedule and we're not completing either quality, service, whatever those things are. So how do we make this better in order to reach our objectives? Or if we are reaching our objectives, but this process is kind of, it's a little bit frustrating, and I can see that you're taking either too many steps or something's happening. So how do we make this better though? You're not going to solve or have an answer to that question right there and then. That is going to be a continuous conversation, because remember, you can't change their current culture in a day. You've got to just be very open to questions, asking those things, and begin the process of planting these seeds around how do we make those improvements? Because all the work that you're doing is in the back end, looking at the data, looking at the trends, looking at the activities and observations, all those different things. Then with all that, you create a plan for success, and you say, this is the new plan for success. This is how we're going to reach or exceed these goals. And this is one of the things we're going to look at.